What's up, guys? Today we're going to review an article that I stumbled across. Let me go ahead and share this article that I came across, especially now. I feel like this AI is such a hot topic in the moment. So, after failing the GAE entrance exam miserably, ChatGPT fails to beat humans at accounting, which I know what happened, but let's go in and dive into the article and see why. So, the researchers from Birmingham Young University and 186 other universities in their journal issues in accounting education have published their findings that revealing that AI chatbots scored much less than students taking the same exam. As per findings, as per the findings, students scored an overall average of 76.7%. Oh, that's a C average compared to ChatGPT score of 47.4%. The findings reveal that while the AI chatbot scored higher than the student average in 11.3% of the questions, doing particularly well on accounting information systems and auditing, the chatbot was seen struggling with tax, financial, and managerial assessments. One of the possible reasons for poor performance, as per the researchers, could be the mathematical processes required to solve such questions. So let's kind of break this down a little bit. I'll give you my take on why I think the AI chatbot didn't do as well. So in the first thing, it says that it did well on accounting information systems and auditing. So I think what typically happens with this is that I don't think this is particularly auditing in the sense of, they're like the things I teach on this channel. I've actually diving into details. I think it's a lot more theory based, like what a unmodified opinion is, or what an unqualified report looks like, or other things of that nature. I don't necessarily think that it was necessarily going into actually auditing certain things. I remember, especially when I was in college, a lot of the audit classes that I took were all theory. All of it was theory and memorization. And in things like that, I think AI and ChatGPT are freaking awesome. But when it actually comes to applying the actual accounting knowledge into practice, I think that's where things don't go as well, in my opinion, for certain AI systems, because they're really good with answering certain questions and memorization. But when you actually apply that knowledge into things, I don't think it's the best at it. So far, I'm not an expert in ChatGPT, but I can tell you, I think that's why it ended up kind of not doing as well. So it says, according to findings, ChatGPT showed greater accuracy rates on true false questions. What did I say? That's exactly my point. I think it does really well. Sure, if you ask it, I don't know, general accounting questions, and what an accrual is, or what revenue stands for, or how to calculate gross profit. All those things, sure, I'm more than positive that we can rely on it. And even as an accounting professional, I definitely want to have ChatGPT as my disposal in case, let's say, I'm looking at guidance on how to apply the accounting of an account or a transaction and how to properly account for it. 100%, I think ChatGPT is going to be super instrumental in being able to be kind of a know-all of where we can go kind of as a database to get a general understanding. Like the other day, I think I was going through some accounting transactions myself, and I just didn't really know how to account for a certain thing. I was like, hey, ChatGPT, how do I do this? And I'm not saying it gave me a perfect roadmap, but it gave me a nice skeleton where I can go, oh, you know what? This kind of works. I think this might help me. And they kind of led me in the right direction. And I think as accounting professionals, even in the business world in general, I think we can really start leveraging the AI tools in a positive way to make our jobs easier. I know it's such a hot topic now, like, AI is going to replace accountants and CPAs. Definitely, I think it's going to replace certain things that we do that are monotonous and don't take a lot of thought. But as we're showing here, yeah, when it comes to true false questions, 100%, I would rely on ChatGPT. Why am I going to go and look for stuff on my own? That's going to take me maybe 30 minutes to go look up research on my own, when I can literally put the question in ChatGPT and it gives me a nice foundation or skeleton that I can use to then use my accounting knowledge, expertise, and my experience to then go find the right answer. So then it says correctly in multiple choice questions with 59.5% accuracy. However, when it comes to short answer questions, the accuracy rate changed. When it came to short answer questions, the accuracy rate changed between 28.7% and 39.1%, indicating some difficulties in this area. Again, I think with these more short answer questions, I think maybe the AI system obviously has a little bit more of a difficult time actually applying the accounting, because and the way I think about accounting too, it's not so much being able just to add, subtract, multiply, divide. Obviously, that's part of the job, but it's so much more than that. knowing how certain transactions, whether it's a plus or minus to an account. And I teach on this channel all the time, knowing the normal balance of accounts is really where your accounting knowledge really comes in, and you really show your expertise. It's not just knowing that, how to add, subtract, multiply, divide. It's a lot more than that. It's knowing how certain things affect certain balances, whether to add or subtract from that balance, depending if it's the balance has a normal credit or debit balance. There's so much things that go into it that in my opinion, I think that you definitely need a human to be able to apply that expertise, and obviously to leverage off the mass amount of knowledge and database that ChatGPT is. So we continue to read. The research also spotted some interesting trends, like the AI chatbot doesn't always understand mathematical questions and therefore sometimes makes illogical errors, adding two numbers in a subtraction problem or dividing numbers incorrectly. The chatbot was also seen giving explanation for its incorrect answers and sometimes even making up facts. Oh God, he sounds like an auditor that doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, so I think with this, obviously this AI platform is going to continue to get better over time as it has more information. That being said, are auditors at risk of being replaced? No, absolutely not. Especially, obviously there's certain things, again, I can't repeat this enough with AI. There are certain things that it's going to do better than us for sure, like researching guidance and being able to research certain things. But overall, you need someone to be able to apply that guidance properly into an accounting transaction. And making up facts, that's pretty funny. I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, despite the researchers have summed up their findings, calling ChatGPT's performance impressive and a game changer that will change the way everyone teaches and learns for the better. 100%. Do I think, again, is it going to replace accountants and auditors and CPAs? Absolutely not. Is it going to help us? Yes. Is it going to replace some jobs in accounting? For sure, especially the more, I guess, data entry or clerical stuff that doesn't necessarily require too much thought. For example, a lot of clients I have, a lot of companies I've audited, when they make sales, you don't have a person literally recording every single sale that a company, especially on a large scale, every single sale a company makes, manually. This is all done by the system and driven by the system. Recognize it. That's all, in my opinion, AI already. So we already have certain things that are already done by the system themselves. So I just think it's going to be able to help us be more analytical in our job. It's going to help us be a lot more client service focused, instead of just, doing the monotonous tasks in the background. Even when I started my career 10 years ago, there were certain things that we did manually, that, like sending confirmations. I remember one of my first jobs as a young auditor, I literally had to prepare like all these confirmations to send out. Now we have certain things like confirmation.com, where you literally hit a button and it populates everything you need for a confirmation. So there's already certain things, and so many things that are being done manually that I did manually 9-10 years ago, that are completely automated now. And I think that's going to continue to evolve and change. But again, I think it's just going to make our job, I don't want to say easier, but it's going to go away from so much of the monotonous manual stuff. And you got to be definitely a lot more analytical. And it's definitely a game changer. I think that the way we do things now, 5 years from now in the field and in the accounting industry in general, I think things are going to be vastly different. Again, we continue to go on. It's an opportunity to reflect on whether we are teaching value-added information or not. Okay, I can definitely say I think a lot of what sometimes colleges teach, they teach a lot of theory, and I think that's really good. But like I try to bridge the gap here on this channel, where I try to teach you the actual practical, how to actually apply that accounting knowledge that you learn in theory, and how to apply it to an actual business that's actually going through transactions and actually going through certain things. They said this is a disruption and we need to assess where we go from here. Of course, I'm still going to have TAs, but this is going to force us to use them in different ways. I think this is so interesting also. I think we're going to get to a point where everyone has kind of like their own personal assistant. I think certain things that could be done really quickly, I think we're going to literally have all our own little virtual bots that, let's say you need to like pull some document quickly or draft up a real quick email, or, the AI bot can literally read your email that you got and then draft up a response for you. Obviously you review it before you send it out. But I think we're definitely going to get to a point in professional services where everyone has their own, essentially their own personal assistant that is able to kind of help them out with these little things. Also, ChatGPT recently was reported to flunk joint. Okay, and then we're kind of done talking about accounting. But yeah, overall, again, I think this is really interesting. Someone sent me this article and I had to respond to it because yeah, I think overall, I think ChatGPT is going to be a net positive to the accounting industry and the business in general. Obviously, are we going to lose some jobs because of it? Of course. I mean, I think we're even if you look at accounting 20 years ago and now, it's done vastly different. I think that's going to continue to evolve and change. But again, I think ChatGPT is limited in the sense that maybe it's really good at responding to yes, no answers or knowing accounting guidance and accounting literature and knowing how to answer certain questions. But the actual practicality of applying that guidance is where I think you're always going to need someone to kind of step in and be that mediator between obviously the accounting guidance, the client, and you that's able to apply that. Because again, it even failed in certain basic mathematical things on adding and subtracting because accounting in general isn't just, hey, add up these two numbers and add it to the balance. Sometimes it's add this number, subtract this other number, depending on the normal balance of an account and how it's supposed to be treated from an accounting perspective. So there's so many things that I'm excited to see how ChatGPT continues to kind of go through these tests of what it can and cannot do in accounting. And again, I think not even in the not so distant future, I think we're going to get to a point where everyone essentially has their own virtual assistant that's going to able to help them do their job more efficiently, more effectively, and we're going to get away from doing so much of the monotonous work. But if you found this interesting, smash that like button below for the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, work hard, just well. Peace.